Hi all, welcome to the Storyline Morten Thorsby play review. I've been meaning to get this up all week, but it's been proven a little bit harder said than done to get footage from him, but we've managed to scrape a little bit of footage together in the end. It's taken a bit of time, but if we could smash links would be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at G is a legend. All the links are down below for playlists on the channel and social media links as always. Comment down below who you picked from Thorsby, Maeda or Sargent. And the reason why we're also going to show the squad that we used for the review is also just to kind of show why we did what we did. So basically we went with a Serie A squad for the objectives, obviously, because we're trying to do icon swaps. So we did some of the games on stream, some not. So I've not been able to, I should have been able to have got footage from online when I was doing the stream, but I didn't, which was kind of my downfall. I couldn't get too much great footage, which is what it is. But regardless, he is given a plus 16 upgrade from a 70 to an 86. And it's quite a hike as well when you look at it. When you break down his stats, he's been given plus 19 pace from 64 to 83, plus 15 shot, 59 to 74, plus 17 pass, which is 65 to 82, 19 dribbling, which goes from 65 to 84, plus 18 defending from 69 to 87, and then 11 physical from 79 to 90. So definitely some major improvements. So like I said, the reason why we used the squad that we have in front of you is because we've been not opening any packs that are like gold packs at all. So that's kind of why we're relying on what we've got in the club from a silver perspective and Tripadelli kind of element. So that's why we are kind of like scraping the barrel for a squad. But luckily when you've still got the 83 Zanolo, Storyline Danilo, and then obviously Storyline Thorsby, because you only need 9 from the league, you get away with 2, so we've got Van de Sar and Rivaldo helping out. So in-game breakdown of him, he's got 2-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot, he's 6'2" with high work rates. We've played 19 games with him and he only has 2 goals and 2 assists. And I kind of had to really work hard to even get those goals. And in reality, like, I know we've been playing him centre mid, but even before we were reviewing him, he's just not really that great a card, I felt. Yes, it's such a major upgrade, but he just doesn't seem to click for me whatsoever. And I genuinely thought, because of the team I'd be using, I thought, this card will be such a difference maker. Like, when I subbed in Neymar, I thought, this is when it'll maybe help him a little bit more. It'll kind of, the passes will go straight to Neymar and he'll click. And it just didn't. That was the thing. I was so let down by this card. When you break down his in-games, 81 acceleration, 84 sprint speed, 90 attack positioning, 72 finishing, 81 shot power, 72 long shots, 63 volleys, 61 penalties, 80 vision, 78 crossing, 60 free kicks. Never even got a chance to even test the free kicks, so I'm not sure if it's good, bad or indifferent, but I can't do them this year anyway. 88 short pass, 85 long pass, 64 curve, 85 agility, 87 balance, 93 reactions, 84 ball control, 82 dribbling, 90 composure, 88 interceptions, 99 heading, 81 defensive awareness, 89 stand tackle, 78 slide tackle, 93 jumping, 99 stamina, 83 strength and 88 aggression. So definitely some major boosts there. Obviously, I would personally say volleys, penalties, free kicks, no big deal. Curve a little bit of work on from a passing and shooting view if you're trying to attack. You could say the same for long shots and finishing. So you could easily try and put a chem style to boost the shooting significantly if you wish. Maybe like sniper, marksman, one of those types. Maybe even like Deadeye possibly, depending on what you like to improve as well. Same for the passing. For me personally, I would probably work on shooting, dribbling and passing. That would be the main 3 I would work on. He's got enough pace to work with in midfield, he's got enough defensive attributes, and strength looks more than usable. What I found his issue was his positioning is something I felt was non-existent. Sometimes he would be all the way back at say centre back, sometimes he would suddenly be on right mid or left mid, and then sometimes he would be not quite as a striker, but he'd be literally just behind Neymar, and you say to yourself, what is going on here? And it made no sense with me. I was because I made sure I thought have him to cover like where I would usually kind of want to expect from a centre mid, but I didn't expect him to go too attacking because that's what Zanolo's job was. But I want him to at least support Zanolo and kind of Neymar on that side for attacks, because that's what we did. We subbed Neymar in, but he just wasn't doing it. Like, the only times that I managed to finally get breakthroughs was because I legitimately I was genuinely trying way too hard with the card to try and get the goals, and like it took me, it was like a minor miracle, but it was also at the same time where I was like, how on earth have I pulled this off? And sometimes it's like you scratch your head saying to yourself, what on earth have I done here? Like, attacking wise he's not the greatest, but I felt at the same time defensively wasn't great either. For me, he is just one of those cards, you'll either enjoy him or you'll hate him. That's what I would say. And for me, I am probably in that Marmite club. Like, I just didn't really get the enjoyment factor out of him, and that's kind of why like footage was so kind of like non-existent. So like, I would say for like alternatives, obviously we've put in Maeda and Sargent. Now I would personally say now that I've tried Thorsby, and for what I've seen of Sargent and Maeda, I'd probably like Thorsby's most like complete card of the three. When you break it all down, he's like, he helps a lot of, he links up nicely for Haaland if you want to kind of need like a, not quite, like at least a link up anyway, not like a hyperlink, but a strong link to Haaland. But the problem is you've got to factor in that from a Serie A midfield perspective, is he really going to get into a lot of teams? Because fundamentally I would say you've got to remember that you've got Eriksen, you've got Dybala, they're kind of like your two top tier, but then you'd almost then say, well, you could even say that the future stars Zanolo card as well, Dominguez, Tonali, those types. So does Thorsby really get in over any of them? Like, he's a free card, he's not very hard to get to, in all honesty. So like, for obtaining fairly straightforward, if you're not going to put too much time into the game, but are you really going to have him in your team for an extended period of time? He's perfect, as I said, for doing like the Serie A like icon swaps, or even first owner, depending what you're rocking up with. But I wouldn't personally be building my team around him. That's the way I would look at it. I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, I'm so excited. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm so excited to finally get him. I'm like, I'm going to put him in centre midfield. He's going to be my focal point of midfield, and then we're going to win. We're going to go like Elite 1 this weekend league. He's not going to do that for you. He ain't going to do that for you. Just fundamentally accept that he's an 86 rated card that's good for SBC fodder, but he's also good for at least try to do some objectives with. That's the way I would fundamentally look at him. Like, for worth like 10 out of 10, worth like going for, will not deny that. But from an enjoyment view, for me, I felt he's like a 6 or a 7. I just didn't. Like, I felt Zanolo was outperforming him. Even Falco, the silver striker, was outperforming him, and I was actually quite enjoying him. But and Miseroli was doing the defensive duties very well. But it's a strange one, really. Sometimes this is what happens with some cards. Sometimes they click for you, sometimes they do not, and you say to yourself, but sometimes, as I said, it can come down to the team. Because we're using a very silver orientated squad, yes I sub on Mendy, Kumar, David Luiz and Neymar over Flickari, then like, yes, you're bringing in 3 other better players that might suddenly help the team out that little bit more. But even then, Thorsby just didn't really necessarily click. Maybe I should have played him as a cam, especially since I played quite a few games with him. Maybe swapped him with Zanolo, and then just did just do the instructions I do for Zanolo on Thorsby instead. But we live and learn, folks. But hopefully you still find this useful. Let me know in the comments down below who you went for from level 15. Smash the links always, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter, G's Legend, and I'll catch you all later.